What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be looking at Port Adelaide's newest draftees from the 2020 NAB AFL draft. It was a big night last night at Docklands, and everyone sitting at home for all the draftees and the families involved, and particularly all Port fans who were looking out to see exactly who was going to be called at our picks. And, well, it was, to no surprise, our first pick was Lockie Jones at pick 16. Our second pick was Ollie Lord, a bit of a surprise and a bit of an unknown to most Port fans. Didn't really see that coming, but he was pick 49, the tall forward, and we passed on the rest of our picks for that night. And today we went into the rookie and pre-season draft and picked up both Taj Schofield, who is the father-son pick from Jared Schofield, the premiership player from 2004, and Tyson Goldsack, who had a bit of experience. He was going to be this SANFL Magpies leadership player last year when we picked him up, but that didn't obviously happen due to COVID and the Magpies not participating in the SANFL. So this year we picked him up, put it on the main AFL list as a rookie, and he'll no doubt play a big role in both giving experience and knowledge for both the Magpies and the AFL team as well. But let's get straight into this draftee review and see exactly what type of players we've picked up for the future. Let's start with Lockie Jones, a bit of in-depth analysis here. We all know the name after a full year being part of the NGA Academy from Port Adelaide, and he was playing with Woodville West Torrens throughout the season. And well, he's a general backman. He's a type that can play tall. He's got a big body at 188 centimetres and 86 kilos. He can play small as well. He's very much a Tom Jonas type of operator, the captain of Port Adelaide. So you may see Jones. It's going to be very confusing now because you're going to have Burn-Jones, you're going to have Jones, and you have Jonas. Imagine that across the half-back line. Jones, and Jonas. It's going to be, well, it's the Jones brothers. That's absolutely shocking, and that's probably one of the worst things I've done this year. Lockie Jones is going to be a massive part of Port Adelaide for the future, for the next 10 to 15 years that he'll be a part of our club, because no doubt, as a Port fan he was, as a kid, he just thrives the contest. He's a hard nut, and you've seen from the highlights that he's able to attack the contest really well. He can play, as I said, both tall and small, and can be a really attacking defender as well, which is something that our defence has really been based on over the last couple of years, and really been that very strong focal point that we've had that's been pretty consistent in Ken Hinckley's tenure. So he's going to add to that and be a great part of our back six. So I think that's a massive tick. Probably went a little bit late. I was expecting him to go around pick 8, pick 9, pick 10. Went pick 16. We did a couple of draft pick swaps with Adelaide, who we dropped from 34 to 38, I think, knowing that our points were pretty safe, and we were able to back up with pick 49 later down the track. So that was used to pick up Ollie Lord. Now, Ollie, well, I was sitting there, and I'll tell you the story. So I was sitting, well, laying in my bed. I was watching the broadcast, which, mind you, felt like it went for 48 hours. I swear it was Friday by the time I finished watching that. That's something that's got to be tweaked, because, seriously, just call the names out. I don't want this, half an hour preview of what this player's going to bring, and then 10 years' time, he's not even on a list. So, fix it, Fox Footy. Anyway, back to Ollie Lord. He was a bit of a surprise pick for myself. I didn't see him really in any sort of draft pool, but he's been ranked one of the best tall forwards in this pool of kids. And seeing players like Borlase that were available, I was thinking maybe we'll go for Schofield at 49, and that'll wrap us up, go into the next day with the preseason rookie draft. But Ollie Lord, a great talent. He's a skinny boy, 84 kilos, 195 centimetres, from the Sandringham Dragons. Now, interesting backstory. His father played for, was on the Geelong list for 2 years, but never got a game. But his grandfather, Alistair Lord, was a Brownlow medalist in 1962. So some good genetics for Ollie, and coming to Port Adelaide, I think it might have been a bit of surprise. But to see us go after another tall forward gives us it gives him some time to develop as well, because you know you've got your Charlie Dixons, your Todd Marshalls, Laddams, Georgiadis, they're all in the mix there, so he probably knows he's got 2 to 3 years that he can develop his game and really take strides, and we haven't exactly been able to develop a key forward from scratch, and maybe Ollie can be that in the future, but nonetheless, he's a great talent. He's got a great overhead mark. He's a lot like that Ben and Max King type. Skinny build, but very strong in the air, and can follow up his own work on the ground, which I think nowadays that's a very, very good key forward, and that's something that you want. You want 2-3 dimensions from your key forward. So Ollie Lord, thank the Lord you're at Port, because it's going to be so much fun seeing him being a part of the club, and I wish him well, because you know, a key forward is hard to come by, and hopefully he can develop into that. And so they were the 2 key picks from the draft on Wednesday night. Moving into Thursday's play, it was a lot quicker. Getting pick 16, we ended up with Tyson Goldsack. He was probably touted a couple of weeks coming in that he was going to be picked up, mainly as that experience on the list, and he's at 33 years of age. We know what he's capable of. He played at Collingwood and was instrumental in their success and building a good culture around, and he's done so much well as a development coach throughout 2020, and helping the younger kids and really develop their game. So now that he's a part of Port Adelaide and going to be on the list, more so I think you'll see him mixing with the likes of Can Sutcliffe and the Magpies group, really just trying to develop any sort of youngsters coming through and really build their confidence and build their measure, which has worked the past couple of seasons for Port Adelaide with that Sandful leadership player. So I think you may see him pop in and out of the AFL side every now and then. 22 games again next year, going to be 20-minute quarters again. So experienced body like that coming back into play will definitely help us with a bit of management and a bit of rest, but also a bit of experience coming into that later stage again when you move into finals and the latter part of the year. So it's great to see Goldsack get another shot at playing AFL footy, but I think definitely there's roles in place for him, and I think that's another big tick from the recruiting department of Port Adelaide and from the club itself. Last but not least, I wanted to save the Schofield legacy to last, because for someone like myself who was a youngster living through that golden era of 2004, seeing the likes of Schofield, Burgoyne, Mead all develop through, and they became part of that legacy that was the first AFL premiership, and now Taj has an opportunity to follow in his father's footsteps. He's a small forward midfielder who can dash around. He's got great pace on him, and I reckon his fitness will be one of his assets, because he has a good, strong engine. I think one of the main things will be building that body. He's only 74 kilos at 177 centimetres, so that will take some time, but you know what? As a small forward, as a small mid, mixing through those packs, you actually can have a bit of an asset with you, with your pace and your fitness. So you'll be able to burn that off, and against opponents that are bigger bodied, that pace will come in handy. And a midfielder that with some pace is definitely what we've been after. So to see him training with the likes of Burgoyne, the likes of Jackson Mead, and now you've got Taj Schofield. Bit of a 2000 feel about Port Adelaide with that lot. But it's great to see us using that father-son pick. A lot of question marks over whether or not we'd actually end up using that selection. But I think no doubt the pressure wasn't there to select him. He's a great talent. And I think he will be able to impact pretty early on in his career. Maybe not as much as some of the other youngsters coming through. But he'll definitely have his opportunities, and no doubt he will be a big part of the next 10 years for Port Adelaide and building that future that I think at the moment with our list, it goes deep. It goes massively deep. Our experience is all there, and we've got that great youth bracket, and these 3 out of the 4 are going to add so much more context to that. Lord with his skill and his ability up forward and crash the packs. Lockie Jones down back is going to be instrumental, and he's no doubt going to be a hard frame to knock over. And then Schofield with his pace and his great skill and his goal sense will be a great addition to what's going to be a fantastic next few years for our youth And again, you know what? A round of applause for the recruiting department. You know, Jason Cripps, Chris Davies, they've eyed these players off for months. And again, they've gotten what they've wanted and really had a successful plan. And that's what they've done for the last 3 to 4 years. And it's really exceptional to see that continually, year after year, when it's their time to perform, the players performed and the coaches performed in 2020. But these blokes off the field have been working very, very hard for the continual amounts of time throughout the year to eye off these players, and a massive tick of approval. Sensational job once again to the recruiting department, and I think hopefully their work pays off this year, but it has so far, and I back them in 100%. I'm really, really loving the picks that we've got. Well, there you have it, Port fans. That is our draft coup for 2020. I'll repeat it again. Lockie Jones, Ollie Lord, Taj Schofield, and Tyson Goldsack is on the list for 2020. And that just about wraps up the whole 2020 package, doesn't it? Trades have been done. Now the draft's been done. Now we build for 2021. It's going to be a magnificent year, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the young talents, the trading targets that we've brought in, and obviously the 2020 group that we've had throughout the year. What they can build on with Ken Hinkley and the crew is going to be massive. And I think us fans are very much excited to see what we're going to be able to do. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this draft group and what you're looking forward to and which player you're looking forward to seeing most in 2021. My name is Anthony. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content. As always, count the pair.